Welcome to Stories from the Center of the Universe, the podcast about the human experience.
Chris Rutherford, welcome to the Center of the Universe, man. Appreciate you coming.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I guess we should mention that you and Kevin are buddies. We've known each other for a while. Y'all met when y'all were what, in your 20s, maybe?
Early 2000s.
I'm 20 years older than him, so...
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
I don't know. I think...
Easy, Pappy.
See?
I was like, you're not that old.
Well, he calls me Pappy.
It's because you can't hear anything.
You're right. 2000?
Yeah,
maybe?
somewhere around 2000.
I think our wives knew each other.
Yep.
And or I don't think it was my wife yet. Girlfriend, your wife.
No, that's right.
Yeah. And we met at the softball field. Dory Park.
It's where everybody meets.
Everybody meets there.
Pretty much. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
I'll tell you how good he is in softball in a little while.
You can tell me now. How good is he in softball?
You want to start with that?
Yeah, let's do it.
I don't want to blow his head up because it's his podcast. So maybe that's a good thing.
I think you can blow his head up.
All right, so you haven't said 3 words yet, but I'm going to tell them how good you are in softball. So first of all, there's very few people that are athletically gifted and have like Brett McPhee,
I do.
buddy. And y'all, you didn't know Brett.
I know
he was
Brett.
a really good athlete, but he could do everything, right? You name it, he could do it. And so is Rutherford. Rutherford's the same way. Rutherford could, good Lord, he can run fast, he can hit far. But the greatest thing I've seen him do, and I tell him this all the time, is I used to play infield, he played left or center, whatever he wanted to play. And I remember a hard hit liner over my head was sinking quick. And I turned around thinking, well, that's going to be a double in the corner. And Rutherford goes Superman. And when I say Superman, he was off the ground
Parallel
this
to it.
way
Yeah.
and caught the ball.
That's the only way you're supposed to play. Yeah.
And it hurt too.
That's one thing I love about Rutherford. He is balls to the wall when he comes. That's the only way to play. Everybody doesn't play
I
that way.
think I had a little bit of the Bryce Harper in me. And
You did, but yeah,
I wish I had those skills, but
he's a baller. We won't talk about his trip onto the Ashland basketball court, but his softball, baseball skills are stupendous.
Outstanding. All right. Chris, where'd you grow up?
well, I was actually born in Richmond,
Okay.
St. Mary's, and then before I turned 1, I was in Philadelphia,
Oh, Philly. Mm-hmm. Are one of your parents from there?
Levittown. Yep.
Okay.
So all my family's up there.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Why were you born in Richmond?
My mom was living down here at the time.
Okay.
And she, met somebody. Next thing you know,
That
I
happens.
was the result.
Yeah,
it happens to everybody, right?
Yeah. pretty sure it happened the same way for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, she'd probably kill me if she heard me say that. But,
Well, I know she wouldn't.
no.
Is she going to listen to this?
Yeah, she might.
Yeah.
Yeah, she might. She don't care.
She will.
She'll criticize me about other things. But anyway, yeah. So then we moved to Philly, and I was there. I guess I moved back down to Virginia 5th grade, so 11, 12, so 1984, 85 time period, and been here ever since.
What do you consider home?
My heart's in Philly. I mean, I love the city, but
Yeah.
I'm a Southerner. I'm a Southerner now. I'm Richmonder.
Do you have
I
memory?
hate to admit that. You know?
You just
Well,
did.
you've been here long enough.
Yeah, 30 years. I mean, 30 plus.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
You have memories of Philly?
I do. A lot of them.
What are your best memories?
The summertime community pool, baseball fields everywhere. Generally the winters, the snow. I mean, you know,
Brutal.
Yeah, brutal. But for a kid, you loved it.
Right.
Like the more snow, the better.
Right.
And it snowed 20 feet in Philly one year, and I remember that was like the greatest week, as we were just sledding. I mean, you could build tunnels. It was amazing.
You had to build tunnels to move, it sounds like.
You did.
Yeah.
How long? You were only out of school for a week for 20 foot of snow.
Yeah, up there they know how to deal with it.
They have trucks and sand and salt and all kinds of stuff.
We'd
Yeah.
still be out of school.
Prepared.
Yeah, 2 years.
I remember being on the ponds too, playing hockey. That was a big thing.
So you know how to skate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My son's actually better than I am now.
Does he play hockey, your
Yes.
son?
Yeah, he's 10-year-old. He plays hockey and he loves it.
Wasn't a
Really
thing
good
back
skate.
in the day in Richmond.
No, it's there's limited resources, not many places to play. The interest, it's just not there. But they got good facilities, good coaches.
Yeah, yeah.
Top short pump still?
Yeah, I think most of it goes on Johnston Willis, though. They call the Ice Zone. And they have a new place in Powhatan called the Ice Den.
There's an ice place in Powhatan?
Yeah, they built
Oh,
a
my
ice
gosh.
den specifically to, get some more participation and have another resource. So,
That's cool.
yeah.
All right, back to Philly. Are you a Philly sports fan?
90%.
All right,
This is where it gets interesting, right?
All right, well, let's go sport by sport. Football. Who's your team?
I'm a Niners fan. Big Niners fan.
Please tell us how that happened.
Well, you and I don't have better stories about our favorite teams.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with usually Notre Dame, USC. Those were the only football teams that were shown on TV.
Right.
So my family watched a lot of Notre Dame games. And my stepfather was a big Joe fan. And then I followed Joe. And
Joe was the man for a long
He
time.
was.
Okay.
So,
Notre Dame connection. That's nice.
Did you have posters of Joe on your wall?
I did. Yeah.
How about Jerry Rice?
Absolutely.
Who else? Who's your
That's
favorite 49er of all time?
Joe.
I think. Yeah, I was going to say it's got to be
Who's second?
Joe,
Because
right?
I think you like. There's one other guy I thought that you really liked. It wasn't a superstar.
I mean, just, accolades aside, Tom Rath was one of my favorite.
The fullback.
Just the way
Yeah.
he played. He was brutal.
He could run. He could block. He could catch
He
passes out of the
could catch-
backfield.
Yeah, just like Kyle Juszczyk, I think.
Yeah.
Our fullback this
Yeah.
year. So. I say our like they're mine.
Oh, it's yours. You
No,
spent
no,
enough
we-
money.
Well, we say the same thing
Yeah.
for our teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good.
We
I
funneled
try to
money
catch
into it.
myself though every now and then. So yeah, NFL, so 49ers.
All right, so we're watching the draft, kind of. Kevin and I can see the TV. You
Well,
can't.
that's why I'm like, are they going to trade Debo or?
right. So
hope not.
Kevin's going to give us each pick as it comes in. We're what round?
Some guys.
Round
up there-
1, 5th pick.
He's up there screaming about something.
Yeah, there's no telling what that guy's doing.
Goodell's about to say the New York Giants select
another
Lawrence Taylor Jr.
Another bad quarterback. All right, so football. Your logic for liking a team is more solid than why I like my team.
Tell us why you like your team.
Well, we don't need to say that on
Chris
this.
would like to know.
When I was 8 years old, it was 76. Tampa Bay and Seattle came in the league. I couldn't stand the Skins back in the day because every
Right.
fan around here was obnoxious as they could be. And there are a lot of people that grew up in this area that like everybody but the Skins and the Cowboys. And my favorite color when I was 8 was orange, and they had those Pops
I like
creamsicle uniforms. Man, I wish they'd kept them. I wanted them to keep them. The uniforms they had when they went to that AFL, USFL looking robotic numbering stuff. Like, what are you doing? That's not the NFL.
But you won a Super Bowl when you changed uniforms.
We've won 2 since we changed the uniform.
So
Yeah, it's
I
not.
don't think it was the uniforms though back in the day.
I don't think it
no,
was.
the defense was probably could have wore
I think
dresses and it wouldn't have mattered.
I think it had everything to do with Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks, and Rondé Barber.
Kayvon Thibodeau, who they thought was going to drop, just got picked 5th.
By the Giants.
Yep.
Yeah.
So every other team thought he was going to drop, and the Giants took him. Is what
Yeah.
you're telling me.
Yeah.
All right, basketball.
76ers.
All right, nice.
Philly, everything else.
Who's your favorite Sixer of all time?
Oh, Dr. J.
Oh, it's not even close.
Yeah,
I
I
love
mean-
Dr. J.
Yep. So
Absolutely.
some of the Philly fans that I know, they'll go, Will Chamberlain. I'm like,
What?
no, he doesn't count.
Yeah, he doesn't count at all.
Come on, man.
Because Dr. J stayed in Philly the whole time.
Yep.
Now, he did spend a little stint here in Virginia, actually, playing in the ABA.
Squires.
For the
Yes, he
Virginia
did.
Squires, which
And he-
I guess was out of Norfolk, right?
And he won 2 ABA championships with the Nets.
Yeah, that's right.
He's won 3 total.
He played with the red, white, and blue basketball.
He did.
Yeah.
And by the way, the Sixers are up 22 in the third quarter right now.
Nice.
So they're going
They
to save.
needed-
They're going to save Doc's legacy.
I really think they did. They did not want to go to Game 7 at all. With all that pressure being up 3-0.
Yeah. Well, let's not say they won this game yet. There's still
Right.
a third quarter.
I know.
You never
Yeah,
know.
and it is the NBA.
It is.
All right, baseball, we're saying
Phillies.
Phillies.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're a Philly sports fan, and you're obviously not an Eagles fan, but it had to be hard for a while. Sixers won in '83.
Right.
They haven't won since.
08 and just
Oh, did
Phillies.
and then, yeah, in '08 with the Phillies, they only won one.
Yeah, well, and then they were in the following year and then lost to the Yankees.
Right.
But yeah, that was the prime years. Jimmy Rollins, Ryan Howard, Brad Lidge as a closer. So they had a good team then, and then they got old quick, and they haven't recovered since.
Yeah, I don't know. Philly should have the city of Philly should have more championships than they have. Only one in football, one in baseball, one in basketball. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Ask him about hockey.
So I don't know much about hockey, but
And
it
I'm a
sounds
big
like
hockey guy too. I love the sport. I love playing.
Did you play growing up?
Yeah, I
Did,
played.
did you play when you moved back here?
I did not.
You couldn't,
So
right?
once I left Philadelphia, I didn't know. We didn't know where to find it. Once I left Philadelphia and came back down here, I stopped. So I played.
There's nowhere to skate.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. My Flyers are train wreck this year.
Yeah. So one team we have in common. Well, no, the Tar Heels too.
Yeah, Tar Heels.
But yeah, he's much more of a hockey fan than I am. I ask him when we go to one, how are we looking this year? And he says, not good.
So
I'm like,
Kevin can't name a player kind of thing.
Claude Giroux, and he got traded. So
I know.
there you go.
That's why I'm rooting for the Florida Panthers. So
Do you
I
like-
watch a lot of playoffs.
Do you like hockey because it's pretty physical sport?
It's physical, really fast paced. I love the fast pace of it. I mean, just the agility to stay on those edges like those guys
It's unbelievable.
and move the way they do.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
I think it's the fastest sport that humans play, right? I mean, horse racing has a horse involved,
I
but
was going to say, what would be faster?
I can't think of anything.
No.
And the closest thing would be lacrosse or soccer.
But you're running.
But you're
running.
running.
Yeah, but you're running. You know what I'm saying? Roller derby.
I think ice hockey's they're probably rolling faster, but yeah, right on. All right, so did you play a ton of sports growing up?
Oh yeah.
Where were you playing?
I played hockey. I played basketball, baseball, and football.
Okay, but
I wish I would have flirted with golf a lot younger. I didn't pick that up till much later in life.
yeah, it was later in life for me too.
me
And
too.
I think if you start when you're like 8 years old, you're probably going to be pretty good when you're an adult. I'm guessing,
Right.
Especially if you're taught well.
Right.
All right, did you have any other interests besides sports growing up?
Music. Yeah, I was a big music guy. So I grew up, especially in Philly. That's another memory back in Philly. Is my uncles would all get together and they sing a cappella, and I used to go with my mother and listen, and that got me hooked right away.
That's
so
cool. How many uncles?
Well, she had 5 brothers
Oh gosh,
and 3 sisters, so
it's a big family.
it was. You know, all those families were big back then.
Yeah.
You know, they'd pop out 5, 6 kids like it was nothing, and they all turn out. You know, you might have one.
Maybe
Go
two.
sideways.
Maybe two. Out of 8, maybe 2. Yeah.
Now 3's a big family,
Yeah, it's a lot to handle.
It is.
which
that's
we
right.
all have 3.
Do we really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we'll come back to your family in a bit, but so music, they were doing a cappella, no instruments.
Nope. They stand around
Ever?
and just clap, and then next thing you know,
Almost
yeah,
like a
it's-
barbershop quartet kind
Yep.
of deal. And would you sing with them?
No, I would listen back then.
Okay.
But I would do that with my mom, and I would do that.
When did you start performing?
Not till I did some stuff in high school.
What do you
talent
mean?
shows.
What do you mean?
You know, like talent shows. So
But like you're talking about like a band?
well, that's about the closest thing. I mean, I wasn't in a band per se in high school,
Right.
but me and a buddy of mine, he played guitar, wanted to jam. We got together. Next thing you know, we're doing talent shows, and
That's cool.
that's kind of where it started, really. But not until then. It was a while. You know, it was more of like I didn't let many people know that I could sing. I didn't even know I could sing really until I did the chorus thing when I was in school.
Yeah.
Like, you should try out for chorus. I'm like, all right, try it.
You sang in the chorus?
I did, and then I was like, after about a month of it, I think, and I was like, yeah, this is not for me.
I'm not getting any girls singing in the chorus. That's what you were thinking.
Is that right? I figured you could pick up some young ladies
Now.
in the chorus.
Now, maybe
It's a
not then.
thing now.
Yeah, I don't
You,
think
you had to be a jock back in the day.
Like
Yeah.
then you probably equated to the band, which
Right.
I was in for 2 years. And
Yeah,
said,
so now, we late 90s, early 2000s, we were doing a lot of traveling from Philly to Jacksonville, Florida. Places all up and down there. Would go weeks at a time, and that was my metal band experience.
What was the name of the band?
Precious.
So wait a minute. Let's back up.
That's an interesting name for a metal band.
It is.
We got to back up. You can't jump to Precious. I need to hear, how did you start singing?
Oh, okay. The band before that was Jolthead Orgy. How do you like that?
I like that.
Jolt Head Orgy.
But what made you start thinking, because look, there's different types of singing, right? Because you can sing. You've got a good voice. You can sing anything.
Totally.
But the
It's totally
hate
different.
breed, Lamb of God type of music, what got you interested in that?
So I just started playing. These guys, Rob and them, back in the day, wanted me to come do and sing for their band. I was already in a band, Jolthead Orgy.
And what
And
kind of
you know,
music was that?
we played like the grunge, Seattle sound type rock.
Yeah, that's good music.
But all original music. You know, it was still original music.
Right.
And they asked me to come. They were a little bit heavier, you know.
Yeah.
So it kind of pulled me almost and I didn't even think about it. I just did it naturally.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I sucked at it though. As far as the screaming part, I sucked at it. It's like a muscle.
You had to work at it.
Yeah, you really did. You had to build it up, and over the years, I've been able to. Now I can do it like in key, if that makes any sense.
If it does.
Yeah, sure.
And that's, some of the screams you hear nowadays, you can't quite understand what's going on, what he's screaming about. But
right.
I try to enunciate so you can still. I'm screaming, but you can still hear what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Or figure out what I'm saying.
And whoever's listening to the music wants to hear the words.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wait. So what was the name of that band? The one that you went over to?
Oh, their original name was Nottum. It's kind of spelled. I know, man.
Y'all's band names just kill me.
So, and then once I came aboard, that's when we changed it to Precious.
And how did that come about? What's Precious? Can you spell that for us, please?
Preshus.
And how did that? What's that?
Man, that's so long.
Do you even
ago.
know?
I don't even know. I have to get Baylor on the phone right now.
Baylor did it.
And have.
Let's just blame Baylor.
Do we want to get Baylor on the phone?
Actually, I
We can
think
get
it
Baylor
was
on the phone.
Jason Brown, drummer. I think that idea came from him, but I'm not 100%.
The least precious person in the band came up with it.
Was it meant to be ironic?
Well, that was back in the day when I used to own a Miata, and him and I
you
used
and
to
Brian.
cruise it top down, two bald-headed.
We used to make jokes that they would literally just open the door and pick it up and run with it like the Flintstones. It was fantastic.
That is funny.
Precious. Now, how long did Precious last?
We were together for 8 years, I think.
Because that's when I met you when you were in that band.
Yeah.
And you'd play Alley Cats. And,
Yep.
Oh, man. And it's probably part of the reason why I can't hear is going to the...
It's certainly part of
one of
my
those
problem.
shows.
I mean, my hearing is gone.
Well, you got an excuse.
yeah.
You were... Well, can I tell a quick story?
Yeah,
about
please.
Precious?
You don't have to ask me.
So
anything.
he was playing at Alley Cats, and the type of music, they have a mosh pit, right? So
Why wouldn't they?
of course.
It's precious.
Well, I guess his wife at the time, me and my girlfriend, a couple of couples were over on the side of the stage. We weren't in the mosh pit. We were.
You don't want to take your
Watch it.
girlfriend or your wife to the mosh
and
pit.
throw
Yeah.
her into the mosh pit. So near the end of the and correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, and near the end of the show, I believe, he decides to dive into the mosh pit. And I don't know if you hit the ground or you hit somebody wrong or what, but you can tell us what happened, but you jumped back up on the stage and he was grabbing the mic with both hands and he looked like he was in pain. And we were like, hey, 'cause you have to yell at him. And he looks over and he sticks his finger up, and I don't know which finger was it.
This one.
The middle finger was sticking.
90 degrees. Yeah.
And all six of us were like, oh,
Like you're playing left guard in the NFL.
right. But he kept on singing. He finished the show because he's a trooper.
Yeah, good for you.
It wasn't precious.
Yeah.
Nothing
And
precious
then we were
about
in the
that.
hospital. I'll never forget it. He says, I'm gonna reset this for you. It's probably gonna hurt. So
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm like, are you ready? He's like, are you ready? And I'm like, yeah. Oh my God. It hurt.
Worst
Like,
pain you've ever felt?
One of the worst. Yep.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Really?
Yeah,
Was
it
it
hurt.
worse? Because you probably didn't even feel it the first when it
I
happened.
didn't. When it was
Yeah.
laying over there, I could really not feel zero pain. It was zero pain.
Because
I had quite a few beers too, but
beers
Yeah.
plus adrenaline, probably.
yeah, adrenaline.
Oh my gosh.
That's the thing about that music is the adrenaline rush was. I can't really describe it, but the adrenaline rush that I would get for playing live shows is unmatched.
I think the audience feels that way too.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is I kind of just go on how I feel, and if you follow, if you don't, if you follow, cool. If you don't, but most people wind up, trying to, send out that vibe. I guess that's the new word these days, the vibe.
It's fun. It's a fun show to watch. I mean, whether you like the music or not, watching him on stage at least, and the rest of the band, it's a trip. So you guys play. Name some of the cover bands, because I know you guys do original music, and I want to ask about that too. But what cover bands or what bands did you guys kind of do songs for or of?
Cover wise,
Well, like, did you do any, or was it all?
back then when in the metal, no, we rarely did a cover.
So you wrote your own songs.
It's all original. Yeah, all of it's really original music.
What inspires you to write the songs?
Good
'Cause I've
question.
heard
Good question. I mean, I've heard people talk about writing songs. There's so many different ways. Bass player brings in a riff to practice. Next thing you know, the drummer starts playing guitar, finds his riff. Next thing you know, pow, you got rhythm. play that as long or make a change. I mean, it just happens like that. Other times it could be, no, that part doesn't go with that part. The lyrics and really are the last thing that come into play. And sometimes I'll just listen to the song. I've read articles like about this company in New Orleans. They're called a cleaner company. And they would go to all these murder scenes and clean it up. Like disinfect it, scrub it clean. That was their job. Threw all that stuff away, disposed of it. They were called the cleaners. I wrote a song about it because I thought it was cool anyways.
Yeah, it's unusual.
But the next thing that I went, after I read the article, I went into practice and they had a song written. I'm like, sweet, I got the exact lyrics, and it just came out just like that. Some of them happen like that. Some of them, not so much.
Yeah.
But the process is fun. You know, really no wrong way to do it.
Are your favorite songs the ones that came the easiest to the band? Or not necessarily.
Not necessarily. I guess ones that always stick in my head will, almost by default, because I keep thinking about them and I keep hearing them. There's songs 20 years ago that I couldn't tell you what the hell I wrote on it.
Well, you're famous for
Well,
making up a new song in the middle of the
I
song.
adapt. That's called adapt.
Is that what that is?
You make up a new song on the fly kind of thing?
Oh, hey, you got to do what you got to do
Make up your
live.
lyrics.
You forget a verse, you got to make it happen. Okay.
Look, there have been times, and it's more recent.
See, you
when it
know
was-
this because you know me.
When it wasn't-
most people were like, "Ah, he's fine."
Yeah.
He'll be singing something, and I'll just think to myself, well, that doesn't sound like. And I'll look at Baylor, and Baylor's over there going, "See,
Yeah,
That's
the bandmates can give it away. Like, Jesus.
of course,
here we
what
go.
is he singing?" My God. So, and the reason why I'm asking a lot of these questions are, I think a lot because you guys have fans. I mean, you literally have people that come to your shows.
Yeah.
They know who you are.
They're called groupies, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And so they want to hear stuff like they want to know why. What's your favorite song you've ever sang or written?
Well, hold on. Before you answer that, how many songs have y'all written, roughly?
The current band, which is Wise to Ways,
Right.
we only have 5 now.
Plug that. Wise to Ways.
Wise to Ways.
Well, by the way, quick plug on another podcast called Bumper Night. The intro music is.
Wise to Ways.
Thank you.
And that's an original song, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got 5 now. I've been in a band, 1,000 Yard Stare. You remember them?
Best name you've had.
1,000 Yard Stare. We were really heavy, like Lamb of God. That was fun. It was a lot of wear and tear on the voice, though.
I was going to say.
But it was fun to do it. We had some killer tunes. We wrote about 7 or 8 of them.
Okay.
Precious had 35, maybe.
So you're around 50 total.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Easy. Yeah.
So what's your favorite?
I don't count. No, I can't answer that.
Yes, you can.
Not put on the spot. I got a lot of favorites.
Well, name one. I think there was one song that you wrote that you told me was your favorite one time, and it's not as hard of a song. What was that song called?
So there is one that is my favorite. One of my favorites about the girls, my daughters, stepdaughters.
That's it. That's the one. What's it called?
Yeah. Perfection.
Yeah.
Perfection. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good one. That turned out really good. I didn't really professionally get that recorded. That was kind of like, similar setup to what you guys have. And,
Yeah.
And mic them up and, but it did turn out good.
Nothing wrong with that.
All right. Wise to Ways. Spell it.
WISE 2 TO Ways. WAYS.
Well, daggone it. I could have spelled that.
Were you expecting something?
I was expecting at least one Z.
Well, when you spell Precious the way they do,
Right. Exactly.
what are you going to do? And Mistrack. Don't forget Mistrack.
Yeah, Mistrack was a good band, and I still talk to those guys I've known for 20 plus years, playing music 20 plus years.
Who's in Wise to Ways? What are their names?
So that's Jason Brown from Precious, Rob Baylor from Precious.
Can you give us the instruments they play too?
Yeah, so Jason's the drummer, Rob's bass player. We have Mitch on the guitar, and then we have Rinka on the guitars. 2 guitars, heavy sound, but really nice sound. It's energetic is the best way I can describe it.
You definitely have a good play. You got a studio now, right?
Well, yeah, and we throw in a lot of melodic vocals, so it's not just constantly screaming.
Right.
Sometimes though, in a live show, my adrenaline will get me, and I'll probably scream more than I probably. He didn't do that on the record.
Baylor back there.
Yeah, shaking his head. Jesus.
What does a second guitar do for the band?
Thickens the sound up.
Okay.
Thickens the sound up. Plus, if you get good tones that accentuate each other, play off of each other, then it just makes the sound that much bigger.
Yeah. Kind of shakes your body.
Yeah, I mean, we like to get involved with some dual souls too, so they can trade off, add some layers to it. Do different harmonies with notes. That's another thing that helps.
When y'all getting a keyboardist?
Yeah.
I wish we would have gone to a keyboardist. Well, Jason Kaley in this track, we could have gone to a keyboardist. He could have played, and we could have done so many good songs.
Yeah.
So many good songs.
Heavy songs with the keyboards?
No. That was my cover band. Well, we did write a lot of our original music. We think we wrote 10 songs. I think I was right. 10 songs. And then we played shows, but we would do all covers.
Yeah.
And, we'd do Tom Petty, and then we'd do Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Chris Stapleton, Van Morrison. We were all over the place.
So how long have you been singing in a band out of all these bands?
Since late 90s.
All right, so you've been rolling for
mid to late 90s, yeah.
25 plus.
Yeah.
Every week, on average, how many shows would you guys play over that 25-year period?
Oh, I mean, right now, it's funny. We don't play any.
Yeah.
We just don't have the time. But
Well, the pandemic.
when, single, for a lack of a better way of putting it, single.
Yeah.
And not much obligation. We'd play 3 times a week.
Right.
Or we would play once this weekend, then 3 next weekend, and then it would be 2 next weekend. It would be back and forth. Greensboro, Roanoke, then up to Fredericksburg, D.C. So,
Do you do the? Are you the main show most of the time, or are you opening?
No, usually on the road. We weren't any headlining worthy band at the time, at least as far as known. But we would play second usually. Then when we'd have shows in Richmond, we'd bring these bands that we meet that invited us to their shows, and they come down and they play under us, and we headline. So,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Have you opened for anybody that fairly famous?
Lamb of God.
Okay.
Unearthed. Propane.
I love heavy metal band names.
Tool.
Yeah, I wish.
I went to Flood Zone back when the Flood Zone was a thing, and they had 4 bands, and I'm going to see if I can remember them. Prong was the headliner. Load, Clutch, and I can't remember the other one.
Oh, my God.
But
Clutch was there?
They were all one-syllable names, every single one of them.
Tool. That was the other one.
Tool was not there.
Yeah, Seven Dust. There's a couple other ones. We did BuzzFest years ago when it was 100.7 The Buzz here in Richmond.
Oh, yeah.
With the Foo Fighters headlining that year.
Yeah, nice.
That was probably one of my favorite shows. I mean, it was like
Huge.
8,000 to 10,000 people staring at us when we played.
That's
kinda
wow.
cool.
That's crazy.
It was. It happened like that quickly, too.
What year was this? Ish.
98, 99, maybe.
So you were playing in front of several thousand people.
Oh, yeah.
Were you
Yeah.
nervous? Or were you just so
Nah.
into it, you're just like, this is awesome?
Yeah. I mean, the adrenaline just went up that much further.
That's cool. That's very cool.
So the more people that are in there listening to you.
Oh, yeah. It raises
the-
the levels for sure. Sure. And then if they're really into it, you see an aggressive mosh pit. I get a kick out of that. So
Yes.
it gets me going.
So the bands that are playing in front of like 40, 50,000 people, like there's got to be a limit to adrenaline, right? It can't just keep going up.
Yeah, I mean, I think the bigger the venue with that many people is kind of like, I don't know, it's not, I like the intimate setting shows where you can only fit in 1,000 people. Flood Zone's perfect example.
Yeah.
That's like the perfect size where you got the main floor, balcony with people around it, and it felt, more intimate is the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
What was that band that I loved that opened for y'all that year? That had the bongo drums.
Saint Diablo.
Saint Diablo.
They're still playing today.
Are they really?
Yeah, they still jam today.
I was gonna say the way you came in with that question, I'm like, how could he answer that? Then you said bongos, and I'm like, all right.
He knows.
Yeah, as soon as he said bongos, I knew right away.
I had a few pops that night, but still, it was fun.
So how old were you when you first sang in a band?
Probably 19.
Okay, so you've been doing this a long time,
Yeah.
really long time.
I love it, man.
It's been in your adult life,
Yep.
all the time. Mm-hmm. What did the pandemic do to y'all?
You know, we were still not really booking a lot of shows and being aggressive because we're all busy adults.
Right.
So it didn't affect us too much. You know, we got together when we can, when guys felt comfortable or weren't feeling sick, and we practiced. We wrote songs. You know, we can still go in there and create, which is one of my favorite parts of the whole thing. So.
And y'all are practicing in a studio now.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's we had a really nice setup on the West End, and that fell through, and we were there for years. But yeah, it was a great setup. 30 by 40 room, separated by a glass window. We had the board on one side. Everything was fully mic'd in. It was temperature controlled. It was warm and AC, etc. So now we're in a storage facility, which I'll tell you, most bands like us, a lot of bands that are in the metal or rock, you know, storage spaces are almost the next best thing if you don't have like a personal garage or a personal room that you can go in there and practice.
Do the walls do anything weird to the sound?
So they can. I have to wear earplugs because the sound will just, it's like a bullet.
Right.
You know, it just will bounce off all the walls, come right back at you. Magnifies it. So I have these special earplugs just made for musicians to filter in good stuff and no damage. So
How much do those run you?
only $25.
What?
Amazon's the greatest thing ever.
Come on.
I'm kidding. I'm not kidding.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and they work good. So I'm already deaf though. After years of never doing that. Oh God.
Yeah, when you're young, you don't care.
Yeah,
right?
you don't care exactly.
You're invincible. You can do anything.
Yep.
All right, let's go back to high school. Where'd you go to high school?
Godwin.
Mills Godwin. Was it kind of newish back then?
Yeah, I was only 10 years old by the time I got there.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when that opened, and I'm like,
We were in high school with the first year it opened.
yeah, that sounds right. I guess it makes you and me old.
Absolutely.
And you played sports
Yep.
in high school. What was your favorite in high school?
Baseball.
And you played outfield?
I was infield, outfield. Yeah.
Were you a better hitter or defender?
Hitter.
Bombs?
No, I hit a lot for average in high school. I didn't quite find a gym until my senior year, so it took me.
Well, baseball players historically didn't lift a
They
whole
didn't.
lot.
They
Yeah.
really didn't. You know, it wasn't a big thing that, you know, your coach required you to do in the off season. So,
I mean, you barely ran for practice.
right.
Yeah.
Maybe a pole or two, and that's about it. From one foul pole to the other, and that's it.
Did you have aspirations going beyond high school?
I did. I could have gone to a school, Virginia Wesleyan, and played there. And there's a couple of schools I probably would have to be a walk-on, try out.
Right.
Yeah, but I gave it all up for a chick. Ain't that some shit?
It happens to a lot of people.
Jeez. My goodness.
Yep.
Could have been something.
I could have been something. And then I proceeded to, when I started playing softball, I'm like, no, I'm not going to be that guy that's trying to prove he belonged to go to college and play ball, you know?
You never come
Because
across as that guy.
I know. I told myself I wasn't going to be that guy.
Well, when somebody first approached you about playing softball, what was your reaction?
Well, I was like, yeah, all right.
How old were you?
Because it's slow pitch,
And I
right?
was 19,
Oh,
20
it's
years
softball.
old. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's slow pitch.
Right.
You're
Right.
like, this seems kind of easy.
Yeah. Like beneath me almost.
Yeah, but it's fun.
But then I did it, and I was like,
This is pretty cool.
yeah, I can hit the ball 400 feet. All right.
This is neat.
It's a lot of fun.
It is.
Are you still playing?
Still playing.
Really?
Me and my wife still play, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Playing on a co-ed team on Friday nights. It's a good league. See a lot of people that we've been playing against, with, over the years.
How old are you?
I'm 47.
I wasn't playing when I was 47. I stopped when I was like 38. I think.
Don't
I'm
look-
trying to get him out there.
Yeah. Last time I
He
was
told
out
me he
there-
was a fill-in if I needed somebody.
You might want to go younger.
Slightly. Yeah. No, I'll come out there. It's a lot of fun playing with them because it's no pressure. It's just everybody having fun. Good time.
It is, totally.
It's
We're
a
out there.
recreational league, right?
Absolutely.
Beer league. I mean, it's the best
Right.
way to, you know.
I've never played any other kind of league. It's always been a beer league.
I got into that phase where I was playing men's tournaments, competitive
Like
tournaments.
you travel out of state kind of thing.
Well, no, I wouldn't travel. Like if it wasn't local, I ain't playing. You know. But years ago, though, they were fun. They were competitive. They were like the closest thing to that high school competitiveness that you had that I enjoyed.
Like sea level?
Yeah. And that lasted for a few years. And then I was like, I can't deal with some of those D-bags. Like I'm like,
They're way
no.
too serious. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm serious too. I'm competing, but it doesn't dominate my life. Like
Softball guy.
I mean, that's the best way to describe it. And there's millions of them out there.
Yeah.
We all know him.
All right. What else you play in high school?
Basketball, football,
Hold on, no.
football freshman year.
No, you can't skip over basketball. Let's talk about that a little bit because I haven't heard that.
Dude, I made the team, got the gate as a freshman. Never played organized basketball. Okay?
Now, what position? I can only assume it was
I
a point guard.
Yep.
Why are you assuming that, Kevin?
Because he's 5'2".
Man, 5'10", give me a little credit.
How tall are you?
5'10 and a half.
Okay. So what were your strengths as a point guard?
My speed and agility. I couldn't dribble worth shit though.
Because you hadn't
tried.
Because you hadn't played.
I tried. I could shoot though.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I was more of a shooting guard. Than I shouldn't have had the ball in my hand. I think after the first 2 weeks, coach made a change. Like, yeah, you go over here. He gives the ball to the other dude to bring up the floor. I'm like, yeah, that's probably a smart decision.
So how many years did you play basketball?
1.5.
Why'd you stop?
Because I got hurt. And,
That'll mess up baseball.
It was going to mess up baseball for the year, and then that was it.
Yeah.
Was anybody on your team that ended up going to play in college?
No.
Yeah, I can't remember Godwin having any.
No, they didn't have.
Baseball-wise, yes, but not.
Yeah, baseball, they were always competitive.
So
Football,
go
depending.
ahead. Let's talk about football then.
What about football?
You play football, right?
Oh, yeah, where are we in the draft?
Yeah, Kevin,
The
you've
Jets
you've
are on
missed
the
several
clock.
picks.
It's
I'm
the
sorry.
10th pick?
Charles Cross got picked. But yeah, the Jets are on the clock. I think it's.
Hold
I
on,
think it's
Kevin.
the
Just
10th
pull it up on your phone. Give us a rundown.
Do you want me to give you a rundown?
No, I mean, because this is the pick that if Debo gets traded, this is where
Yeah, you're the one you're worried about, right?
Yep.
Because you don't want to have.
But anyway, football, and then I played my freshman year.
Okay. Why didn't you keep playing?
It was brutal on the body.
Well, and ninth grade kids are not big.
Yeah, I wasn't big either.
Right.
I played as a cornerback. I probably wouldn't have lasted long if I kept going.
Yeah, it's well, you're probably better off not playing because
A cornerback, huh?
you would have had
should've
some
put you at
concussions, I imagine.
I was a tailback in youth football.
I was going to say, they should have put you at
in the
tailback.
youth leagues. That was fun.
So, quick rundown.
Yeah.
I think we already got to Stingley at the third
Well,
pick.
just pop number 1 through 10.
All right,
through
number
9.
1, the first pick of the draft this year was Trayvon Walker, the defensive end out of Georgia. And then we went Aiden Hutchinson went to the Lions, another defensive end out of Michigan. Derek Stingley Jr. went to the Texans, a cornerback. Sauce Gardner went to the Jets, a cornerback out of Cincinnati. Kayvon Thibodeau went to the Giants. Ikem Ekwonu, a huge offensive tackle from NC State, went to the Panthers. So
What do you mean huge?
He's a big boy.
He's like 350.
If I remember correctly, that's the 6'7", 300 and some guy, right?
Jordan Davis?
No. Ikem Ekwonu, the offensive tackle. Anyway, I'm sure Baylor's happy. Evan Neal then went to the Giants. So the Giants got Thibodeau at defensive end at 5, and then Evan Neal, who's another huge offensive tackle out of Alabama at 7. The Falcons got Drake London, the wide receiver out of USC. That's a good pick, well, potentially.
He was supposed to be the first receiver taken, right?
And he was. Charles Cross went to the Seahawks, and now we're waiting for the Jets and their
and Debo
crazy fans.
apparently might want to go to the Jets.
Well, it's probably the only place for him to go. Niners are not going to trade him in conference.
Yeah.
And have to face him. And
If something dings up here and they say the trade is in, the podcast might be over. I'm just going to let you know.
We can
I really don't want Debo to go at all.
Well, so we were talking about before we started recording. Why is he making a fuss?
I don't know if he hates the taxes out there or doesn't want to. He's a South Carolina kid, so
Yeah, maybe he wants to get back on the East Coast.
I think he wants to get back on the East Coast, and I think they probably insulted him with the first offer. I think there was some numbers talked about, and he was like,
He's like,
kidding me?
he's like, I was the best receiver in football last year.
I mean,
arguably.
definitely top 3 for sure.
Best weapon.
Yeah, best
Definitely,
weapon.
yeah, that's a good way to say it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Daggone.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
he single-handedly put the Niners in the playoffs.
Yeah, hey, I'll
He's
tell
the
you
reason
this.
they made it to the conference championship.
Yeah.
There are 31 other teams would love to have him, and mine's one of them. All right, the Jets are picking, so it looks like you might be safe, at least from the Jets. Hold on, I shouldn't say that yet because
He's talking.
Yeah, he's talking.
We can't hear him.
with the 10th pick, no, there's no trade. They picked Garrett Wilson.
Why? All right.
He's
Wide
not-
receiver.
he's
So
nice,
now they
too.
don't need D-back.
Yep. All right. Good.
Ohio State. Yeah,
Carry on anyway.
So he's gonna stay in San Fran, maybe.
Well, if he's not traded tonight, I think he will be, and
Yeah.
he can either sit out and lose. He won't be a free agent until next year. So
Yeah, man, who's the only player that sat out a full year? Le'Veon, right, with Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And it ruined him.
yeah, he
Ruined.
wasn't the same afterwards.
Not at all.
By the way, just for our listening audience, Garrett Wilson is wearing did you see his suit? It had white on one side and gray on the other. It's Ohio State all the way. If he had red shoes on, that's money.
He might have red shoes on.
That's fantastic. Sorry.
All right, so you graduate high school. What were you gonna do?
Well, I was going to go to school, and I did. I went to J Sarge for a little bit. Got a job at a hollow metal doors and frames, right down there by the Diamond,
Yep.
and that's where I got into welding, and I picked that up. Really liked that. I started out as a delivery driver there originally,
Right.
but I moved on to the welding shop, and I enjoyed that a lot. I was always good at math, so I thought maybe this could get me towards going the engineering direction, which is ultimately where I wanted to go. I wound up joining the union, the Ironworkers Union.
It's hard to leave the union, right?
Yeah.
It is. There's a lot of benefits to it. They're not what they used to be, but it was a helpful time period to work. I think I was working 11 years with the union. I got out because they couldn't put me to work. Work dried up for that, and the next thing you know, you got so many guys sitting on the bench, and I'm not first in line anymore. So I'm like, I got to get a job.
Right. What is it about welding?
I don't think it's the welding as much as maybe just the design and putting those things together. The welding process I got really good at. So that was almost like I got into more cosmetic stuff with it, which is kind of cool. Decorative stuff, unique things that I still do at home today.
So it's almost like you're an artist.
It kind of is. I did actually do some gates, metal gates and railings for downtown Richmond. I did a little bit on the side. I thought I was going to do it full time, like open up my own business. Then I got cold feet. I was like, that's a leap of faith that
That's
you're just
hard.
like, do I do it or not? Or do I just get a job that I know I'm going to get a paycheck every day or every week? So
There's still time.
What's the thing you're proudest of?
there's actually a decorative stainless bronze. It's got all kinds of I hand rolled it with heat. It's at One Richmond Center. And it's they turned it into some. Everything down there is being turned into really cool loft apartments and stuff like that.
Right.
And they wanted something decorative for this piece right here. It was just a big opening, about 3 foot by 3 foot, and it took me a long time, but it was
What's a long time?
probably a couple weeks to do it.
Oh, like full-time weeks?
Yeah, because I'd have to take they all had to be hand rolled by one, and I had to heat it, bend it to where I wanted it, and then weld a little stop. Then change direction, heat it, bend it. It had to follow this pattern.
But when you look at it, you're like, I love that.
yeah, like I was like, I can't believe it turned out that way, especially with the brass insert in the middle of it.
You don't have to show me now, but do you have a picture of it on your phone or anything?
I don't know if I have it. I'm gonna have to go down there and take a picture of it.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. For all those,
This is going to be an amazing question because
for all those
he's
who are
bringing it
listening
up.
that happen to have ridden in a vehicle with Rutherford driving, wondering right now how in the hell you had the patience to do
That's a
something.
great point.
Because are you a patient person by nature?
No,
Then how do you have the patience to do?
and my wife will tell you too, because I'm not a patient guy.
So how can you do something like that?
I don't know. I guess in the moment of creating it, kind of you don't think about
the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you don't think the fact
you're
that
just
you're
trying to
being
make sure you get it right,
Right.
Whether it's you sit here for an hour or 20 hours. You know?
And you want to get it right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
That was a hard-hitting question.
The way you slowed down
Hey,
and you had that pregnant pause. I didn't know what was coming.
my pauses are pregnant.
What's the biggest thing you've ever put together?
I did a inner ring of a nuclear submarine that goes down to the Norfolk shipyard.
Really?
The inner ring?
Yep.
It's a giant.
It's a
ring.
van, and it's actually got 3 levels. Like I had doorways through it,
Oh my god,
3 different levels.
That's cool.
that's really
The
cool.
roll of oh yeah, that was fun. That was a fun project.
Like one of the nuclear subs.
Yeah,
Those suckers are big.
huge. It was 120 feet in diameter, or no, that was radius, I think. So 120 feet in diameter. That's
That's huge.
yeah, 3 levels.
That sucker's underwater for a long time.
And I had to do it in 3 sections, so it all because you can't ship it like that. You know, you can't ship a big 120 foot diameter circle down
Right.
the road. So it had to be made in 3 sections. Take it apart, ship it, then they put it back together, and then they put the skin of the plate around it.
Were you doing it all by yourself?
I had an apprentice helper with me,
Okay,
so
that's a big job though.
yeah, a lot.
Was his name Sean?
No, not at that time. No, he was my apprentice for a while. You know what? He learned the right way.
We'll get to Sean later. That's his brother.
Well, let's get to him now. You brought him up.
No, it's fine. We talk about family at the end.
Oh, okay, we're gonna expand family to brothers, though.
I mean, sure.
And I got 2 brothers.
We can talk about your 2 brothers. Tell us about your 2 brothers.
Kyle and Sean. Sean works with me. He's a good kid. Or I say kid. He's 30. He's 40 years
He's
old
40.
now. It's crazy. I'll always think of him as my little kid brother. You know, that's just the way it was. Even though he's a grown man now, but
He looks like Daughtry. Remember the guy who sang on
he
American
does
Idol?
look like Daughtry, and he hates that because everybody tells him that.
I know he hates us.
But hey,
That's why
I'd
I'm-
rather be compared to Daughtry than
I mean,
otherwise. You
there
know, I mean,
could be worse.
I don't know what Daltrey looks like. Crack research staff, do you mind looking that up?
Or we could just show you a picture of Sean. Because he looks exactly like him.
Whichever one comes up first.
Yeah, so Sean's kind of following the same footsteps as I run the shop now. I manage 35 employees. So, I've built up I'm close to ownership. That's what I'm after.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, that's the next step for me.
Right.
So, and he's been kind of following my footsteps, doing similar steps to what I did to get where I am. So,
Good stuff.
Are you the middle?
There's Sean.
no, I'm the oldest.
Oh, you're the oldest. So Sean is the baby?
Sean's the middle, and then my brother Kyle is the baby. Of course, 30. He's 8 years younger than me, so he's 39.
Wow, him and Sean are close.
Sean is 6 years under me. Kyle's 8 years under me, so they were only 2 years apart.
What's Kyle doing these days?
So he works for Estes Trucking.
Okay.
As a project manager. He works at home. He's got the ability to work at home thanks to COVID, like everybody else. So, which is good because he's been able to put forth a lot of time over at my mom's because he can work from over there. My mom has stage 4 cancer.
Oh, gosh.
So
Sorry to hear that.
But she's doing really well though. So she's doing real well.
She's making a recovery, you think?
Yeah, I mean she's had another, hopefully the last chemo treatment, and then after the scan, if everything goes okay, then they'll put her on a clinical trial drug that's tailor made for her kind of cancer, and that it's not a chemo treatment; it's more of like a therapy. So as long as there's no increased progress, and some of the numbers are coming down, then we could do that. But you won't have to take chemo anymore. Chemo they don't that sickness that everybody tells you how you get sick and stuff like that. It's really a cumulative thing. So if you had 6 treatments, after your first one, probably wasn't too bad. Second one, I felt a little sick. By the time you get to that 6th treatment,
It's brutal.
it's brutal.
Yeah.
It's brutal. Yeah.
Prayers out, and your mom's awesome.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Awesome lady.
The crack research
I'm
staff
not
has
here.
his phone ringing tonight for the first
Tell him I'm not
time.
here.
Silent Rob is not silent tonight with the phone.
Could you put that on silent, Rob?
Maybe that's an emergency call that overwhelms the silent function.
That's the Debo Samuel got traded ding.
Oh, God. So now I spend all my time coaching my son baseball.
How old your son?
10.
Okay.
Plays 10U.
So you travel.
Yeah.
That's expensive, right?
It's not too bad. I'd say the time it takes to do it all.
I knew a dude, this was years ago, I'll say his name, LR. His son played a lot of baseball, and LR swore that he spent $10,000 in bats from the age of like 6 to 18.
Yeah.
Now, if you include like the lessons, the monthly fees, and all, I mean it's
not cheap.
Oh, it's not cheap at all.
It really isn't.
And back when we were growing up, I mean,
We didn't have that.
Yeah, you just played in the spring. It was a
You
rec
played in the
league,
spring, and that was it.
maybe
there was an all-star period,
right?
And if you were lucky enough to make that, then you played on for another month. But after that, there was
You played the sport that the season dictated.
exactly.
And
It
I
was
would
a summer
imagine.
sport. Once that was over with, you moved on to the fall sports: basketball, hockey.
So Sammy's playing hockey and baseball. Is there anything else?
So he's got a lot of interest towards basketball now.
He was shooting.
And I was like, he's gotten so much better the way he shoots. So I don't know what to do with him as far as putting him in a league that everybody else is not going to be so far advanced than he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a tough one because
Well, you want him to play with better players, but you don't want his soul crushed every time he
You
goes
don't.
out.
Right. You don't want one launch right back at your nose and
Every other shot.
right.
but there are places he could play. Absolutely, there are with the Hanover Little League or Henrico. You're Henrico, right?
Right. Or maybe it would just take some seasoned lessons, just a little bit of work to understand
Yeah,
how to
too.
play would probably be just enough.
Yeah, I wouldn't teach him if I were you though.
No, he don't want to learn from me. No.
I'm kidding, man.
But he wants
I'm going to take him to you.
Yeah, bring him to me. That'll be.
Hey, I'll
you'll
coach
love the
Briggs,
results.
you coach Sam.
Kevin's got a 5-year-old, man. He doesn't have time to coach his 10-year-old.
I know, you had that kid
I'm trying to coach my kid how to play basketball. A friend of the podcast, TJ Gwynn, is available though. We can get him.
We've had a few people that can coach kids in
we've,
basketball.
We've had the whole VCU Rams Hall of Fame squad.
We've had Luke Majabber on too at VUU.
I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. He said he's going to VCU to play baseball. I said, okay, man.
All right.
Well, if he makes VCU baseball, he's doing something.
He's doing something.
They have a good program.
Yes, they do. Well, he goes to all the games. So.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. He knows the coach, knows all the players right now.
They have their own field now, right?
Now they still play the Diamond.
They still play at the Diamond?
Still play the Diamond. I wish they would get him a field, though. I mean,
I guess it's kind of hard in the city, but it ain't that hard. There's got to be a place they can build a stadium.
it doesn't necessarily have to be in the city.
No, it doesn't. They're not trying hard enough.
No, they're not.
I don't know why not, because
think
baseball's made them money.
Yeah.
Made
Yes.
the school money.
Well, your son's coach McQueen, wasn't he?
He
VCU
coached
baseball coach?
No, he was Rutgers and University of Richmond.
Did he play at VCU?
I think he played at VCU.
Yeah, I know he's got a connection there. From Clay telling us about him. Another friend of the podcast. I'm dropping names tonight.
You're dropping a lot of names.
Clay Meredith was on the podcast.
Claw Meredith.
Claw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he's listening to this.
All right, so Rob's excited about some pick being in. Olave, another Ohio State receiver, went 11th for
Ooh, the
Saints.
Lions? How did they get a pick at no. Just the Saints.
Yeah. The next pick is the Lions. Yeah. All right, so your son's playing baseball. It sounds like he loves it. You like coaching him.
I do. It's funny though. Him and I have talked about this before about being the dad. Daddy ball. That stigma. I've seen a lot of it, and I hope that I've done the exact opposite.
I despise real daddy ball.
Yeah. I mean, and you know when you see it,
Oh yeah, the kid's the 7th best player, but he's being treated like the best player.
right?
Yeah.
And I truly try to balance that out. If my son earns that, he gets it. If he doesn't earn it, he doesn't get it.
Right.
Just like any other player.
Is he shortstop, bat third? Would we?
No. He says he can play shortstop. He might be able to. But he's the number 2 hole hitter, but he earned that.
He catches, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's my main catcher.
Yeah.
And he plays a lot of third. He wants to pitch. He throws a nasty little curve. I told him to stop throwing it.
He's too young for that.
I know it. He doesn't throw it the right way, but he does get some rotation on it. And it
So
moves.
what's too young these days now? Because these kids are throwing
Oh,
junk.
Look, my son stopped playing baseball after he was 11, but if he had kept playing, I would have told him not to mess with one until he's 17, 18.
Not to throw a curve?
You heard what I said.
Well, he wouldn't have kept up, I can tell you that. Because these kids are
hey, whatever.
junk.
That's fine.
It's amazing.
If kids just worried about movement on their fastball and placement of the pitch, I think they'd be fine.
No, I'm not.
There are kids that play in the pros that didn't throw curveball silly or 19.
Not disagreeing with you at all. I'm just telling you. There was a kid playing.
Sorry, we're having a little debate.
No, well,
No, I'm totally in your corner. I don't know that late is
14, 15 is fine.
Yeah, I mean, once you get into middle school, you need to probably know how to throw that pitch.
Throw a knuckleball.
I'm telling you, we're sitting watching a 9-10 game. I guess that's what Briggs is playing in Glen Allen. And this kid throws a pitch that buckled my knees, and I was sitting in my chair. I'm like, what? We all just kind of jumped back because the kid batting was like, whoa.
His elbow is going to be hurting by the time he's 16.
Exactly
Maybe.
right. That's what I fear. Especially, travel ball adds year-round baseball. That's year-round wear and tear on your arm.
That's the biggest point. They're doing it year-round.
And then you throw them into a rec season in the middle of all that.
It's too much.
Next thing you know, you throw in an all-star season. That's a lot of wear and tear for a young child.
They're pitching 9-10 months out of the year.
Yeah, it's a lot. I held my son out of rec ball specifically because he's already playing 10, 11 months. Go ahead and take the summer off because he wants to play hockey. He wants to play more hockey. All right, we'll go play hockey.
Yeah, that's good.
And he's going to swim.
I think the diversity of experience for him is great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you're pitching 10 months out of the year. I mean, major leaguers, they're playing 162 games. They got spring training, but they're not doing a lot of throwing in the offseason.
No, none. In some cases, unless you're rehabbing an injury or something like that.
They're just staying in shape.
Or they're riding motorcycles and wrecking them. I'm sorry. That was
You had to throw that in.
Who did that?
Tatis.
You act like I know that.
You should know that.
How long is he out? Or
3 months.
Oh, that's
He
fantastic.
fractured his wrist.
That is, I mean, I don't want somebody to get hurt, but if it's one of your teams,
Unbelievable.
that's okay.
But typical.
I'll trade you Nick Castellanos for him right now. Tatis.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
My son wants him bad.
I'm sure
My
he does.
son loves Tatis.
He's a great ball player.
Yeah,
Freddie
he's fun to
Freeman's
watch.
son loves Tatis.
Yeah, he's fun to watch. He's fun to watch.
Yeah,
So is Acuna, who came back tonight, I think.
Yeah, Acuna's a stud.
did.
He's
He did.
he's arguably the best baseball player out there now
We can argue about
when
it.
he's healthy.
I'm still a Mike Trout guy, but Byron Buxton, I think, is probably one that's playing the best.
Oh, y'all are just slinging him around.
Is Trout going to play in L.A. the rest of his career? Because he needs to go somewhere
going
else.
I
Mike,
thought
he's going to
did.
Philly.
I know.
Is he?
We
To
had
play
him
with his
lined
boy.
in our sights, and then LA signed him to that ridiculous deal.
Mega deal.
Yeah.
The second mega deal he signed.
Right.
Yeah.
It blew Harper's out of the water.
Which is crazy because Harper's was unbelievable.
What do you think about Harper?
He's a 5-tool guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, I
Absolutely.
think he's probably 5-tool. Yeah.
He's fast.
Yep.
If that's what. If that's
I mean, he's got the
thing you were
speed.
thinking.
He's got the arm, the bat.
He can catch. He can,
Yep,
he
he
can play
can catch.
defense.
He hit
All-
for
he can
power.
do it all,
Hit
yep.
for- He's MVP last year.
Yeah. You don't get MVPs without being.
So his attitude has it gotten better?
I think so. I was not a big. Obviously, I wasn't a big Trout fan when he was with Washington. Of course, he's not on my team. I don't. But I always thought the cockiness came out. I feel like it's more confidence with him now than cockiness as it was back in Washington.
I've heard the community loves him.
Yeah.
Like
My God, he's adored up there. Yeah.
Well, not just because he's an awesome player, because he's actually a good, mature dude. Now.
Right.
When he first came in the league, he was 19, 20 years old.
He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated at 16.
Yeah.
It's kind of like LeBron. I mean, it's like you're
I mean,
putting these guys on a
Can you
pedestal.
imagine how big your ego is? And
Yeah.
the immaturity combined with that ego,
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
it makes it worse. Has to.
And I would have to say he's surpassed expectations.
He has for sure. I mean, at some point you always have in the back of my mind, that's a long contract. When is the year you're going to start seeing this?
That's coming. But
Yeah.
you.
He's
as
still
a
young
Phillies
though.
fan,
He's still got some
he's
years.
still balling.
Yeah, he's still really young.
I think they just need to put some pitching around that team and
We might have to bring you on the bumper night and talk baseball because Gilman has no idea about baseball, and I got about this much more.
I mean, I understand the basics of the sport. I just can't name any
you know what I'm
professional
talking.
players.
You heard what I said.
No, that's not. You can't use that there. You don't know what you're doing.
I just wanted to use
I was going to say you have no idea how to use that.
Yeah, right.
All right. You've spent a few years in Philly, from the age of 1 to sounds like 9 or 10. and you have family up there, why are Philly fans so mad all the time?
A great question.
I mean, I went to see the Eagles a few times at Vet Stadium, and they're nuts.
Yeah, I've been there too to see the Niners up there a couple times.
Yeah,
and I haven't been attacked or anything, but it's.
Did you wear a Niners jersey in there?
100%.
Rathman.
That was my Rathman jersey. Exactly right.
I'm surprised you didn't get attacked.
Yeah, I did not get attacked.
What did I tell you to wear when you went there? I told him to go get how many rings have y'all won? 6?
Yeah.
Go get 6 fake gold rings.
You definitely get your ass.
wear
No,
them
we're
in
still
there.
at 5. We're looking for.
Oh, you're still at 5, yeah. Because just wear
But still,
them in there.
wearing
Whenever somebody yells at you, just pull your hand up. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I knew what I was getting into. I mean, I've been to Phillies games where dudes have just been pelted with full cans of beer, not even open.
They're nuts.
They are.
It's almost like if you're a Philly fan, one of those.
It's a birthright almost now.
And you don't kick somebody's ass at a game.
Then you're not really.
Then why'd you even go to the game? Is kind of the mindset.
Yep. I'll tell you, Flyers fans probably are more. I don't know. Eagles probably are number 1.
I think Eagles are.
I was going to say, is there a jail in the Spectrum?
You know, was it,
No, but
there
it
was one in Veterans Stadium.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean,
Only team in sports history in this
I'll tell
country.
you.
Probably in the world. You think there's a rugby team in Australia that has a jail?
I mean, it's
there?
just
trying to be
and
efficient.
I guess now I'm still a Philly fan, still love the city, but I don't deal with sports like that.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because I've been down here. Had I stayed up there, I mean, who knows?
Hold on a minute.
No.
What do you mean? What do you mean you don't deal with sports like that?
I'm passionate, but
You're not overly
I've
passionate.
toned it down over the years.
Okay.
Is
You've toned it down over the years, then I would have loved to have seen it
my
years
God.
ago.
Yeah, well.
Because we make the joke that because Chris always has. We used to have people come over his house to watch 49ers games because his brother's a 49er fan and all his buddies.
Yeah, I had the DirecTV when it was, just new, and
And it
I
didn't
had it for years.
cost $800,000 a season.
So me and Baylor would always, at some point in the 49er game, one of us would text the other one and said, Rutherford just threw the TV out the window, and all of his buddies are out in the front yard kneeling down watching it.
So I've thrown remotes a couple times, beers.
What happened to your hand this year?
Put my hand through a ceiling. That was during the Terrell Owens catch in the end zone against Green Bay.
Yeah,
I jumped so high, I put my fist through the ceiling.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, that was 98. 98.
Yeah,
Didn't you bloody your hand up this year?
This year, when the block punt occurred in the
Yeah.
against Green Bay, I hit somebody's right on the knuckle, the corner of a beer glass. So like right there. It split my knuckle wide open. It was bleeding all over the place. I'm slinging it around, not even knowing. I'm like,
Is it just playoff games that you're like that, or regular
yeah,
season too?
no.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let you lie on this podcast. It amps up.
It amps up. I mean, then you add in drink. I tell you, I'm like this. I'm like a nervous wreck. Man, oh God, I make it.
It's the only way to watch football.
It really is. I love watching it just for that reason.
Yeah,
Just
favorite
for that
time of
reason.
year.
Yeah, it's my favorite sport to watch, no doubt. All right, hey, call up Baylor. Seriously, get him on the phone.
I got it.
Yeah, all right, you get them.
Now, before he starts saying
What are
anything
we
crazy, make just. I don't
What
know.
are we gonna ask Baylor? You got
Whatever.
a question for him?
I don't have a question for him. I do have a question.
He
for
might
him.
be asleep.
Oh, come on,
that's
man.
weak.
He's got it. Reed's got a baseball game tonight. That's where he is.
And he's at the that would have been great to get him while he's watching Reed.
Oh my God.
Because he gets too excited.
Oh man, Baylor's one of the funniest people on God's green earth.
Well, that's why I wanted to call him.
Well, he doesn't. He won't cuss at his kids. That's something I've been truly trying to tread water lately, not to do. I don't want to upset the parents. I've let a couple slip on my son lately. On my son, at least it's to him, and not another kid.
Which bomb? F bomb? S bomb?
No, the B word. I told him you swing like a bitch.
George.
Oh, wow. The moms love that one.
And he got mad. And guess what he did? He drove one in the gap. It was beautiful.
That's
and
what
you
was-
look
I
at
was
the mom,
like-
see, it works.
That's what I was going for.
That's what I was going for.
That's fantastic. How many Ohio State wide receivers are there?
There's 7, apparently.
Every time I look down, another one gets
Another
picked.
one's getting drafted?
Yeah, Garrett Wilson got picked too.
All right, Kevin.
What?
Hit Chris with your question.
Oh. All right, you ready? Mm-hmm. This is a famous question.
Do you know this is coming? Have you
No.
heard this? All right, good.
He didn't prime me for this.
All right, you're a late night talk show host tonight.
Or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Doesn't
Why
have
you
to be
always
late
gotta
night.
add them
Because
questions?
it doesn't make any difference.
It does. Okay, you're a talk show host.
People over the age of 50 are asleep.
This is a good
I
point.
usually am. You're right. You're a talk show host. All right, so you are creating a show tonight. You get a male guest, a female guest, a musical group, and a comedian.
Oh, this is great.
And these can be dead or alive. It can be just your show where you just want to.
It's
I just want to
for
have my
you.
show. I
Yeah.
want my great uncle on here, or you might want to have ratings. Like this, I want everybody in the world to watch this show. Mm-hmm. So, you're.
It could be thought provoking. It could be fun. It could be whatever you want it to be.
You could have Baylor on there.
Hold on, we're not feeding him answers.
I see him 5 days a week right now.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I love it.
Okay, so the male, probably my dad, Sam, which is what my son's named after.
Okay.
Female, my grandmother, Carmela. That was her name, Carmela.
Really? Wow.
If that ain't Italian, I don't know what it
I was
is.
gonna say that's all kinds of
We're
Italian.
eating well after that show.
I know. Band. Tool.
That's a great answer.
Tool,
Yep. And what was the other one?
a comedian.
Comedian. George Carlin.
Oh wow! I thought you were going Cat Williams.
I mean, I'm a big Bill Burr fan right now too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, he's
nobody was like George. George was awesome.
Have you seen him live?
I did not.
Oh.
wish
I think
did.
you have to be of a certain age to see him live because he died, 12, 15 years ago.
Yeah, it was like
He ain't that
2004, I
young.
think, something
Yeah.
like that.
I saw
So
him
18
live as
years
an
ago.
adult. Yeah, he was awesome. You're right. He's
Well, he was the first one to really
thought-provoking.
break out. Him and Pryor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pryor was great too.
Yeah.
But Carlin was. Yeah. I mean, and Bill Burr right now to me is one of the best.
Oh yeah.
The guy and his podcasts are great.
He's hilarious. He's naturally funny.
And he got that northern Boston accent.
Oh, it's perfect. The red hair.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Just mad at everything. It's good stuff.
All right, tell us more about your kids.
So I got my daughters are stepdaughters, I should say. They came on. I've known them though since they were 5 and 3 years old. That's how long. I guess we've been together 12 years. So, and then we got Lexi. So she played Freeman softball, made it as a freshman.
Nice.
Then COVID hit, derailed the whole thing. So now she's not going to play because the team wasn't going to be very good.
Yeah.
It was just going to be like redundant torture, I guess. But you know, she's got a car now. She's driving.
Wow.
You know, she's beautiful. So she's going to prom every week, it seems.
And you bought a new gun every week.
Five dresses probably.
My 18-year-old's going to prom, and I said, is he coming by the house to pick you up? She goes, I don't know. I said, he's coming by the house to pick you up.
Right. That was a rhetorical question.
Yeah. You should know the answer to that.
And then there's Kaley. She's 13. She'll be a freshman next year. She'll be driving in a matter of a year. Absolutely. She's a big volleyball player. She plays travel volleyball. She's really good. And Sam, he's a mini me.
Yep.
He's a mini me, which God help us.
Yeah, but he's a good mix of your wife too, though, because
He's got a lot.
Social butterfly.
Yeah, he's got that really good personality
He
to
runs
him.
around, talks to everybody.
He
He'd be a
does.
good
He's
guest on
got
the
so
podcast.
many friends. It's ridiculous. It's
That's cool.
And he'll
yeah.
talk-
I mean, that's a good try. That's something I wish I could do when I was that age.
Oh,
You know,
like
when
that,
I was
yeah.
that age, I walked around like, don't talk to me.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk to anybody.
I didn't want to talk to nobody. I'm probably getting more like that now as I get older. I don't fear nobody. I don't want to move out to the country. Give me 15 acres with an 8-foot fence all the way around it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, that works for me too.
Absolutely.
Tell us about your parents.
So my mom's, she's worked at VHDA for 45 years, Virginia Housing Development Authority.
That's forever.
She's obviously with the cancer. They want her to come back and just work part-time. She's been doing that for a long time. My two brothers, their father is my stepfather. And he passed, God, it was 2000, early 2000s. And I'll never, he didn't treat me the best, being that I wasn't his biologically. I was 6 years old. He didn't treat me the best, so I always held that against him. However, my brothers, I know. I'll tell you, when he died, I had to go up there with them to the service. And I had to see the brother and sister whom I didn't really like at all. I'm like, if I don't come out of this without laying five hands across these people, it's going to be a miracle. And I didn't cause a scene. I bit my tongue, stayed outside, But my brothers wanted to go up there and do that, so I wasn't going to make my mother drive them up there. She didn't want to go. But anyway, and my dad, he died 2000, about around 2000. I didn't see him much. He stayed in Bristol, PA, right on the Delaware River. He was a mechanic in his own shop, fixed cars all the time, taught me how to skate. He was a drinker though. He was a drinker. I love beer, but I can go days, maybe even weeks without having a beer if I don't, So glad I never got attached to that. Now smoking a cigarette, I'll smoke a cigarette all day long. It's one of the hardest things. It is. It's one of the hardest things to ever get rid of.
I've heard it's definitely in the top 5 things to break. All right, fondest memory of Kevin. We'll end on that.
Really?
Why not?
That's great.
I mean, if you don't have any fond memories,
I can't wait to hear this.
That's why exactly.
Look, you can't even
see. You're laughing. You're laughing.
Fondest memory. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
This was early when I had just started hanging out with him. I went over his house to watch some basketball, college basketball, and
I don't know where this is going.
Anyway, Steve Blake had come on the television. The old Maryland.
His twin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
he's a cross between Steve Blake and Aaron Rodgers.
So you might even tell it more accurately. What did I say to you?
He had said previously that I look like Steve Blake.
He's not wrong.
And apparently he forgot that he said that previously, because he said, that's a goofy looking MFer. And then I looked at him and said, you said I look like him.
He's still goofy.
And the look on his face was like, it went well. I'm like, thanks, Rutherford. Now I know how you feel.
The other one would be on the golf course in Myrtle Beach, playing amazing golf. Storm coming. We're on like 15, and then he's got a hitch, and it came roaring its ugly head back. And I felt so bad for him. And then we have Baylor, who's screaming.
Baylor's not good for my golf game.
What was the hitch in your backswing? Yeah. Or the top of your backswing?
The
top, yeah. I mean, he would hang there. Charles Barkley-esque.
In Baylor's, not helping.
He still does it.
He still does it.
Even if you're not doing it.
Before a round, he'll be like, don't do any hitch.
How come the Atlantic City golf trip didn't come to mind?
I don't. Oh, that's another one.
Thanks.
Then you're holding one. 182, 85 yards, something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Rutherford. Come on.
Is that your only ace?
Huh?
Is that your only ace?
No, I had another one.
Wow.
But the other one was, look, they're all luck. I mean, he's a great, Silent Rob's a great golfer. The first one was a 3-wood from 165 yards. I didn't know what I was doing. It luckily went in. At least the one at Atlantic City, I knew what I was doing. I tried to hit the right club, and I couldn't see it too because the sun was in our eyes. You were with me on the tee box,
right? And
all we heard is the group in front of us, which was with us, had gone over to the next tee box, and they saw it go in, and they went crazy, and we were like, "Oh my god!" And then we all drank a lot that night.
You bought us all shots of Jaeger.
Yeah.
Because we got it. That was, oh, yeah.
Good stuff.
That was one of the more brutal trips.
Oh, yeah. The weather wasn't good.
Nope.
Yeah, we lost a lot of money at the casino. Yeah.
And
Great times.
And we'll get in with one more story with Baylor, because that's the day when we were leaving. He had to make a hard right-hand turn, left-hand turn into a CVS to get some preparation aid. He was hurting. So the story doesn't stop there, though. He goes up and he's like, has to pay for it, right? You got a bathroom? Lady goes, no, not for only for employees. And he's like, well, I can either put this on right here in front of you, or you can show me where the bathroom is, so we'll put it on. But it's going on.
Wow.
That's the way to use a CVS bathroom.
Absolutely. Maybe we need to get you and Baylor on bumper night.
Oh my God.
I think that would be.
We could sell some really good band, but we'd have to think of the ones that are a little more on the G-rated side.
Well, nobody listens to bumper.
Right.
So you could come on.
Our record for bumper night is like 30, I think.
Yeah, you're looking at our audience right there. Thanks, Rob.
He's most consistent anyway. What's your wife's name?
Ginger.
Ginger. How'd you and Ginger meet? We'll end on
Softball
this.
field.
Okay, nice.
Softball field. And we play to this day.
Were you on the same team? You just happened to be on the same team?
I feel it's a funny thing, as I filled in on her team, Ginger's team, referred to by my ex-wife. Because they actually knew each other back then.
Okay.
And,
How funny is that?
Yeah. Small world. Richmond is small.
It's not a huge place, yeah.
Ginger the ninja.
Yeah.
God bless her.
Yep.
Cool, man. Well, Chris, appreciate you doing
Yeah,
this.
I enjoyed it, man. I really did. I
outstanding.
appreciate the chance to come on.
We'll have the band come over maybe and play.
We can play some acoustic stuff.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Hey, I don't know why you're laughing.
I'm not laughing.
All right, cool, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to wherever you listen to podcasts. We'd also really appreciate if you'd rate and review us. You can find us at scodupodcast.com.